Honoring Black History, presented by the Church Without Walls.
Welcome back, everyone. We dive deeper into the roles the Buffalo Soldiers played in protecting vast stretches of land in the U.S., dating back to the early 19th and 20th centuries, too. Reporter Sydney Charles goes on a journey of Black history all the way to Yosemite National Park.
Every time you walk out in Yosemite, you're going to see something you've never seen before. You're going to hear something you've never heard before, and you're going to feel something you've never felt before.
The year is 1903 in Yosemite National Park, and this is Sergeant Elijah Yancey.
That quiet right now, that sound of the river right there, all that is part of something that's bigger than you, it's bigger than me, it's part of something that's sacred, it's spirit.
Yancey is fierce, tenacious, and brave, better known as a Buffalo Soldier, a moniker some say was given to him and his brothers on the battlefield by Native Americans, because their hair resembled a buffalo's coat, while some historians say the name symbolized respect for the soldiers' courage and bravery.
I was volunteered for this duty. I'm a sergeant with Troop K, 9th Regiment of Cavalry.
They are considered the first all-black professional Army soldiers in the United States. They were also trailblazers in establishing some of America's first national parks.
It's more than just military history. It's human history, and it's African-American history or African history on this new template of national parks.
Yosemite Park Ranger Shelton Johnson highlights the soldiers' responsibilities, which included patrolling the backcountry and protecting the park.
They were providing a presence of law and order in which was essentially a lawless area. And the duties that rangers do today, to a great degree, are modified and or influenced by what the soldiers were doing at that time.
This ranger also shares one of their most notable achievements in Yosemite.
African-American soldiers built what's considered to be the first museum and what would become the national park system. It was an arboretum, just a trail on the South Fork of the Merced.
Their work transcends time. And if you look closely, you can find pieces of the Buffalo Soldier history everywhere.
I knew innately, first glance, that this was the most significant history for African Americans with regard to America's Best Idea in the entire breadth of the national park system, because it's the only story of African Americans serving as de facto park rangers in the second and third oldest national parks in the United States. That's a huge story.
What the soldiers accomplished in the face of racism and discrimination as our nation's first park rangers is part of their legacy that continues to thrive today.
So when I meet African Americans who are saying, oh, national parks, that's not a black thing. That's just not something that we do. And then I say to them that 100 years ago, during the height of Jim Crow, people who looked like you and me were protecting Yosemite National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, one of the wonders of the world. They were protecting Sequoia National Park, which has the largest tree on Earth. That was their responsibility. If we can do all of that, there's no shame in that. There's pride in that.
Dating back to the 1940s, vinyl records were introduced, creating a unique way of listening to music. We fast forward to 2025. The smooth circular disc is still making its mark in Black-owned businesses, homes, and communities. Alicia Kennedy actually takes us on a musical journey through what started online to a downtown Houston record shop, Good Stuff Records.
I feel like the shirt gives the vibe.
Do you have a favorite record?
That's not a fair question. So what's been amazing is being part of this vinyl renaissance. So if you look at the stats, they say vinyl records have been coming back as far as sales are concerned for over 15 years. Like, is about 3% represented of independent Black-owned record stores here in the United States. And so when you have a place in the community that people can come and, you know, learn about music and that history and tie it all together, because music has represented activism, it has represented, you know, kind of healing. It has represented joy, you know, whether that's gospel music in the church, that's hip hop music where people are talking about struggle and challenges, R&B where we're talking about love, jazz where you get this experimentation with instruments that you maybe wouldn't have thought about between a saxophone and a piano and a trumpet. Those sorts of artistic expressions really just represent so much about the human experience, and particularly in the Black community where we've been able to tie together different generations by sharing that sort of music as well. I had records when I was a kid. I still have a couple of those. My grandma had some, so I'd be at the house listening to those. And just some records that I had from my grandma who had passed away that were still at my mom's house. But I have very distinct memories of cleaning my room, listening to Michael Jackson's Thriller. I still have that copy. It is super scratched and really kind of unplayable, so I have it for nostalgia purposes. But I mean, just then, so just enough to kind of learn about, you know, vinyl records, and then of course cassette tapes and CDs, and then all the way back to vinyl. Feels very full circle, and I have those records from my grandmother that were, you know, just kind of some older classic records. I listen to all genres of music. A lot of people do. You know, rock music is going to be Betty Davis. We're going to talk about, you know, reggae music. It's going to be Jimmy Cliff or Bob Marley. This might be a little controversial, but disco is one of my favorite genres because it's just so joyful. It was so celebratory. You know, a lot was happening in the time where disco became popular, and that people could kind of take that and say, let's make something that gets people up and dancing and moving. For me, it's definitely about disco. So when I think about that, I'm thinking about Donna Summer. You know, I could listen to really her Bad Girls album, just something about that music that will always put me in a good mood. Black music, as far as culture here in the United States and the influence that it has had, is just kind of beyond what we maybe would have originally thought, right? Rhythm and blues, hip hop in particular, jazz, just they're stalwarts in the Black community that are known internationally. It's not just for the Black community, it's for everybody to understand how we all can contribute to maybe make the world better, a little happier, like add a little joy. So one of those things for me personally was starting the Black History Month Vinyl Challenge, which I do on social media. And so the focus there is saying there are Black artists that we want to continue to highlight and support. So the challenge goes throughout the month, and every day there is a prompt that encourages people to post a vinyl record based on that post. And I've had people from all over the world join in. This is the third year that I've done it, but really it's just to continue to highlight, because same thing with physical media. A lot of these artists, and as we know, music, as far as physical release, was on vinyl.
All right, thank you so much, Kara. Well, coming up, a Black-owned Houston bookstore is turning the page on literacy. Meet the couple who had a vision to keep Black history alive by supporting Black authors and making their publications more accessible.